Welcome to the Demo Library Guru. As we know, Android Framework provides a rich set of APIs for developers to use. It can be overwhelming for new Android developers to navigate through the API jungle to find the needed ones to implement certain functionalities. Moreover, in addition to the functional APIs to be invoked by applications, developers may also need to know which event callback to be overridden to place their implementation code. Our tool is aimed to help developers with both kinds of APIs. Firstly, we build API relation databases indicating the correlation among various functionality descriptions and Android APIs from Android developer documents. Besides, in addition to recommending functional APIs, we also recommend event callbacks to be overridden during Android development. Lastly, we recommend combined uses of functional APIs and event callback APIs for functionality queries. The overview of our approach can be divided into two parts. In the first part, we extract correlations between APIs and their descriptions from two sources, Android tutorials and SDK references, and save them into the databases. The second part is the recommendation part. When user inputs a query, we first use some pre-processing like tokenizing and stemming to turn the query into a bag of words. Then the query is input into the functional API recommender and the event callback recommender, which will look into the databases to find the most suitable APIs. You can also use the combined recommender to recommend the most possible combinations of the two kinds of APIs. In the lookup phase, both the descriptions in the database and the query are transformed into vectors, weighted by the TF-IDF values of each word in the document. And by computing the cosine similarity between the query vector and the description vectors, we can get the API whose descriptions are most similar to the query and return the ranked recommendations.
This is the main search page. The main search page for recommending unknown APIs for queries describing some functionalities. For example, I type "send a notification to user" and press search button. The results is returned. There are three result tabs. The first is combined, the second is functional APIs, and the third is event callbacks. In Functional APIs tab, we recommend functional APIs to invoke for the functionality. In Event Callbacks tab, we recommend event callbacks to override. In Combine tab, we recommend combination of functional APIs and event callbacks to use. For each recommendation, there are three parts. Part 1 is List of Recommendations APIs. Part 2 is Recommendations Description. Part 3 is Usage Example of these APIs. For example, the API build and notify could be used to send a notification to user. And these APIs should be invoked inside Runnable Run Callbacks event. So, it means we recommend using Runnable Run Combine, Build and Notify to send a notification to user. When you click on Build API, the detail page will be opened. This is Dependence Graph. In Dependence Graph panel, we illustrate the relations between this API and many other APIs occurred in Android documents. The build node is the root node of this graph. You could move your mouse cursor to node and relation. The node details and the relation detail will appear. For example, you will see build API has relations with intent class, notification compat action builder class, and notify method. This relation is co-appear. You also see the weight of relation between two nodes. Here is the signatures of build API. There are package, class, name, and official link from Android developer's website. Finally, this is the usage example of build API. If you have known API name already, you could use our Search APIs page for getting details about known APIs directly. For example, I type intent and click Intent API. The detail page of Intent API will be showed. This detail page also contains dependence graph and signatures of this API. Thank you for watching our demo.